Hello everyone, my name is, what do you really don't care what my name is? We are near the end of 2016 and I, for one, am glad, especially with everything that's been happening, everything that's been going on. Hopefully 2017 will be better for everyone. Hoping. And ever since I started, my videos from 2014, every near the end of this year, I always make a list of the top 5 best movies and the worst movies of that year. For example, I did one for 2014, and last year I did one for 2015. This year I'm going to do the same thing, only there's going to be some changes. This time I'm going to be focusing on movies that got a lot of build-up, got a lot of hype, looked very promising, but either ended up being failures or ended up becoming successful films. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on. Mostly because there's a lot of movies that came out this year that have been very good, but have also been very terrible. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on, because there's just so many good films and bad films out there that it's very hard to choose which one was the best and which one was the worst. So I'm just going to focus on the ones that got a lot of hype and got a lot of build-up. And today I'm going to give my top 5 worst movies of 2016. Why top 5? Because unlike many people, I like to keep my list short. So let's get started with number 5, shall we? Number 5 goes to Assassin's Creed. Okay, so I didn't review this movie because as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to put this on the list. Now, this movie is one of the many video games that have been made into movies, live action films, that have not been very successful. And they're very disappointing because this movie did have a lot of good build-up. It had a lot of hype. It looked very promising. A lot of people thought it was going to be a great film until it ended up being a complete failure. So what went wrong with this movie? Well, for one thing, they were trying to cram it felt like they were trying to cram an entire Assassin's Creed story into a movie. And that is very difficult to do, especially when you're trying to rush it and everything, especially when the story is not very interesting, at least when we're in the present. But when they're focusing on the past, it is actually not bad. I actually don't mind it, but when we're focusing on the present day, it's very boring. The characters are not that all good. The only reason it's not higher on the list is because I did like the special effects from this movie. They were not all bad, but as far as everything else is concerned, they really failed miserably. I mean, they had an opportunity to make this movie so good, and yet they just failed very miserably. Alright, number 4, Blair Witch, or as it was originally called, The Woods, I believe. Originally, I think everybody was looking forward to this movie because we didn't know this was a Blair Witch sequel. And to be fair with everyone, I really didn't think so either. We all thought it was going to be a good movie. We all thought it was going to be a good horror movie until it was revealed it's a sequel to The Blair Witch, which is surprising. But okay, I did like the swerve, but why is this movie on the list? Mostly because it didn't feel like a Blair Witch movie. It just felt like they were trying to do every single generic found footage movie that we've seen in the past, and it is so stupid. At this point, the found footage movie industry has really gone downhill. I hate the story. It's not that good. The characters, none of them are very good at all. And when we have these found footage movies, whenever we have something like something scary going on and there's a lot of shaking going on, it's very uncomfortable. It hurts so much to try to see what's going on. And it's not that good. I'm sorry. The Blair Witch was much better than this one, and it failed miserably because it was getting a lot of build-up, getting a lot of hype, and after it was revealed it was going to be a Blair Witch sequel, we all thought it was going to be good. It failed. Failed terribly. And I still don't know what the hell the ending was all about, so oh well. Number 3 goes to Independence Day Resurgence. Okay, so 20 years ago, they made the first Independence Day movie, and I will admit, it is a guilty pleasure kind of movie. I actually do like it. It's very nostalgic. I love the explosions. I love the fight between the humans fighting against the alien ships, and Will Smith in this movie. Well, it was one of the best parts of the movie with him being in it. So to make a sequel 20 years later is not, it's not a bad thing to try doing, except this didn't feel like an Independence Day movie. This felt like they were just trying to make this into some kind of sci-fi film that had nothing to do with Independence Day. The story is very uninteresting. It's really not good, and it doesn't really hook you on for anything. Nothing about it keeps you hooked. The characters are all bad, very generic, and you really don't care about any of them. And we even have some characters who should be dead and somehow keep finding ways of staying alive. It doesn't make any kind of sense at all, especially when we have some characters who should have been killed off, and yet somehow we're still alive. No. No, no, no. You were not in a coma. You were dead. I don't know how you're still alive, but you were dead. And yeah, bringing back some of the original cast from the first movie into this one, no, no. And the ending, let's be honest, I don't think the alien race would put the humanity in charge to lead them into combat, especially how we are. We are the same species that elected an idiot to run the United States. So, yeah, we should not be leading any kind of alien race against another alien force. So, no. Number 2 goes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. No, not the video game, the movie. And let me just say, you had something here, Michael Bay. You really did. Yes, I know, he's the producer. He was not directing this movie. But let's be honest, when you watch this movie, you can clearly see he had his fingerprints all over this movie. Okay, so this movie had some promise. Unlike the other movies, this one had a lot of build-up, had a lot of hype, and the fans were excited. We were getting everything. We were getting Bebop and Rocksteady. We were getting Krang. We were getting the Technodrome. We were getting everything we thought we were looking forward to seeing in a Turtles movie. So what happened? Michael freaking Bay and his idiotic methods got involved. The story, they rushed a lot of the stuff that was going on in the story. A lot of it didn't make any kind of sense, and it was pretty stupid. The characters, every single one of them, I hated in this movie. The Turtles, I hated them. Megan Fox as April O'Neil, I hated her. Casey Jones, oh, the actor they got to play Casey Jones, I didn't mind it. I thought he was cool. I thought he would do well, but he was freaking annoying. More annoying than that guy from the last movie. I forgot his name. It's very forgettable. Very forgettable. The funny guy that, was the cameraman for April. I hate him, but I hate the actor they got for Casey Jones. I hated him too. You failed miserably, dude. If that was Michael Bay's fault, then I'm sorry. Then you're not to blame. But seriously, it sucked. Shredder sucked. Krang sucked. Bebop and Rocksteady sucked. It was terrible to see that. Really, really terrible. The special effects, I will admit, not all of them were bad, and I did like some of the fight scenes, but it just failed so miserably. It really did. I mean, wow, Michael Bay, you just could not stay away from messing with this movie, could you? Could you? But despite this movie, despite the other 3 that are on this list, this next one deserves to be on this list. And no, it's not Batman v Superman. It's X-Men Apocalypse. Why? Because this movie did have a lot of promise. This movie we thought was going to be great because we were finally going to get Apocalypse. One of the greatest Marvel villains and enemies of the X-Men was going to be on the big screen. He was going to show up live, and we were going to see him in action. We were also going to get the Phoenix. We were also going to get all of these cool things. The 4 Horsemen. We were going to get Wolverine in this movie. Oh, it was going to be so good, and somehow they messed it up. They messed this up really big time. The story for this, I explained this before in my review. The story, there's just so much stuff going on. It really... You're trying to focus on everything that's going on. It feels rushed. And when they finally get the stories all connecting together, you still don't care. It's still pretty stupid. And the characters, none of them are good. Not one of them. I hated them. I didn't like any of them. Especially the one for Apocalypse. Apocalypse was this menacing, dangerous mutant that could kick anyone's ass, was so arrogant, so proud that he is immortal and he's unstoppable. He's the first mutant that no one can stop him. This one, not even close. He's terrible. He's a terrible. Just the only good thing about this movie, the only good thing about it was Quicksilver in this movie and Wolverine, and maybe Jean, being the Phoenix for just maybe a minute, but that was it. That was all that was good about this movie. The rest of it sucked. It's a shame too, because when they got the reboot, this movie series, when they did First Class, when they did Days of Future Past, we all thought they were finally gonna do a good job with the X-Men series till this one came out. It sucked terribly. I was very disappointed with how it went. And unlike Batman v Superman, we did get a lot of good stuff. Ben Affleck as Batman did a great job. The actress they got for Wonder Woman was awesome. I mean, she looked great for the trailer of Wonder Woman. Plus that theme song of hers when she first appears to kick some ass. The fight between Batman and Superman was awesome. And when they teamed up with Wonder Woman to face Doomsday, it was pretty cool too. But unlike that movie, this one, there was nothing good about it. It was really bad, and it really made me sad that one of the greatest Marvel villains was reduced to being such a punk. Really, just wow, just terrible. I'm really hoping Logan will make up for it, and it hopefully will be a good film. Hopefully. Well, that's it, everybody. If you have a different opinion about the movies that I mentioned, or any of the movies on my dishonorable list, which are right here, you guys can check them out, then leave some comments below. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button. Check out my Facebook page. Give it a like. And I'll be here next time to give you more love and more entertainment for my top 5 best movies of this year. And hopefully 2017 will give us much better films. Hopefully.